kindergarten. Did anyone remember seeing race or color? I didn't. All I remember is being in kindergarten and trying to be everyone's friend. Neither race or color was an issue. I loved going to kindergarten because every single day we would all laugh, sing, and play. Unfortunately, that was not like that for all of us. Can you imagine going to school and being punished just because of your ethnicity? Cesar Chavez had that, and he went through that as a child. According to Cesar Chavez's biography written by Barbara C. Cruz, Cesar and his siblings were being punished for speaking Spanish. Teachers raked their knuckles with a ruler and hit him with paddles. One of Cesar's teachers hung a sign on his neck that read, "I'm a clown. I speak Spanish." Martin Luther King Jr. said, "There comes a time when people get tired of being trampled over by the iron feet of oppression." Cesar had gotten tired. This led him to stand up for what he believed in. But first, we will know why he was chosen by us, the significance of his speech. Next, we will show you the speech we chose, the motivation, and the cause and effect. Finally, we will let you know on why Cesar Chavez inspired us. Now, let's find out why he was chosen by us and the meaning of his speech.
We chose Cesar E. Chavez, or also known as Cesar Chavez, for short. He stands up for everyone. He suffers whether it be from harassment, discrimination, racism, a struggle for dignity, freedom, or humanity. Cesar Chavez had a voice to be heard from the workers of the field. Farm workers suffered from the abuse, neglect, and poverty. There had been a Great Depression during his time. The Latino immigrants were well known for the farm workers. Was it because of skin color? Was this a racial act? Workers labor under the hot sun and are often without the safe of drinking water or toilet facilities. Many of the farmlands had been intoxicated with substances such as pesticides. It would help to reduce the amount of insects that ate up the crops, but in return would be the poison to those who were exposed to it. Many of the children were affected by this substance because of the fact that it is involved into their lives as a play area. This was founded by Cesar Chavez's speech on January 12, 1998. The grapes have been found to be intoxicated, therefore the cause was a serious plague disease. As a result, many of the children have died, and so did the farm workers as well. The disease was cancerous, in addition to the hazard of the farm labor described in the book of The Leader, a Labor Leader by David Seidman in 2004. Also has mentioned that the employers were treated unequally. Women especially were often sexually harassed by owners of the farm. When workers complain or try to organize, they are fired, assaulted, and even murdered. Now that you know why we chose him and the significance of the speech, let's move on to knowing his speech, how it motivates, but most of all, the cause and effect.
This speech, lesson of Martin Luther King Jr., Cesar Chavez honors Dr. King by reminding all the listeners what their objectives and goals were. Cesar had a lot of goals that he wanted to achieve, as well as Dr. King, but he mentioned how it wasn't going to be easy and it was going to take everyone's help in order to achieve that goal. Cesar wanted to live in a society free of violence and full of peace. He also wanted to talk talked about racist society and how people were full of ignorance for thinking that people were any different just because of the color of the skin. Cesar wanted respect and loyalty, which was much needed at that time. Cesar wanted to make radical changes, such as helping people from poor families, M2U00401.MPG, and United Farm Workers.
Chavez suffered along with the farm workers. Chavez understood that the growers were being blinded by greed, racism, and power. But Chavez did not accept this life filled with injustice. Chavez stood up for what he believed in. His honesty and his passion led people to believe in him and in themselves, to finally stand up for what they believe in. Chavez received a telegram from Martin Luther King Jr. that said, "Our separate struggles are really one. A struggle for freedom, for dignity, and for humanity." This showed Caesar support for Martin Luther King Jr., who understood the farm workers' struggle, and even when he had his own struggle, he showed support.
The purpose of the direct action is to create situation so crisis packed that it will be inevitably open to the door negotiation. This is a famous quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Founded in Cesar Chavez's speech of January 12, 1990. Our nation continues to wage war. The power is fulfilled with a racist society and hatred. Poison is designed to kill, and that is actually what this union is committing. Farm workers are facing dangers with the pesticides, and it is the greatest struggle that they are facing. Industries have promised that the pesticides would bring wealth to the farmers and consumers alike, but over the years of research, studies have shown that the pesticides do nothing but poison those who are exposed to it. A huge amount of children and farmers alike have lost their lives to this reason. This was notified in the book by Carlos Rodriguez of Chelsea House Publisher Corporation in 1991. Studies have shown that the plague was cancerous. Now that you know about the speech,